Hey guys, how's it going? You're checking into Blackhouse Vapor Company's YouTube channel, and today we're doing a quick first impression video on the QBOX by Smok, so let's just jump right into it.
Are you listening? Damn.
So if you like to not be able to feel your mod in your pocket, this is probably a mod you'd want to take a look at. This guy is tiny. It's only 54 millimeters tall, it's 33 millimeters across, and it's 25 millimeters in width. It goes from 1 watt up to 50 watts, and it vapes from 0.1 ohm to 3 ohm, so that means that you can do sub-ohm builds in it, even though 50 watts is a severe lack of power for any sort of, real sub-ohming besides these coils that they include in these tanks. Everything threads down and sits flush on it, so in terms of using other devices with the QBOX, that is a good to go. Even though, from what I've seen, you can only get this in a kit, it does not come as the mod just by itself. Similar to the Nugget V2 and other mods like that, they come as a kit because they're really not extremely utilitarian in terms of their uses. It's mostly about the size and having the ability to, have a sub-ohm mod in this size. So one thing that I have to mention as a con is that it doesn't support lightning charging, so it doesn't do a 2 amp charge. It only does a 1 amp charge, which really, in all reality, is going to be plenty. It charges it from empty to full in about an hour and a half to 2 hours, so that's still plenty of great charging time. It does charge a little bit faster than a 0.5 amp charging port, but it's not going to be quite as quick as the 2 amp fast charge that you'll find on a few of these nano mods nowadays, so that is something to keep in mind. Another thing to keep in mind as a con, possibly subjective con at least, is that this screen with a 1600 milliamp hour battery is really just asking for battery life to be demolished. And I'm sure that, because this is the same system that they've been using in the Alien mods, you can turn it into stealth mode and kind of avoid some of that, but it is going to be a subjective con for some people that the battery life will be severely impacted by a screen which isn't entirely necessary in my opinion, especially for an internal nano mod like this. Alright guys, so I'm going to take you guys down into a close-up really quickly so that we can take a look at the intricacies of the mod, and I can show you kind of how it looks up close and personal so you can get a feel for it, and then we'll bring it back up and I'll kind of give you guys my final thoughts. First thing you're going to notice about this mod in close-up view is just how simple, how kind of plain it looks compared to a lot of the Smok devices that they've been releasing recently. I mean, this thing is just simplicity at its finest. It looks like some of the first box mods that came out, and that's how they got their name. It's just a box. It's rounded, it's got rounded edges, which is nice, beveled edges. That's something that I would expect Smok to do. Talking about the screen, to move on to that, like I said, it looks almost exactly the same as the screen that's on the Alien devices. It's an OLED screen, so it functions well, but not perfectly. I mean, there's definitely going to be glitches occasionally, and in terms of seeing it in sunlight and everything like that, its brightness is decent, but not perfect. It should work pretty well for you in almost every situation. As you can see, it goes from 1 to 50 watts. And in typical Smok fashion, they've included every piece of extraneous information that you could ever require. The buttons on this device feel good. They're clicky, but they're not too clicky. They don't feel like they're going to get stuck or anything like that. And I do like the single piece adjustment button on the bottom there, similar to the button on the Relo RX23. That's just personal preference, but I enjoy the single piece buttons for the up and down wattage adjustment. Another little thing that I noticed is this reset piece right here. It's similar to what I've seen on older electronic devices where you throw a little paper clip or the tip of a pencil in there and you can do a hard reset on your device. I've never actually seen that on a little nano box like this, so that is an interesting feature, probably extraneous, but nice that they included it nonetheless. Great tank overall. The only thing that I would say is a weakness for it is juice capacity, but in a mod like this, in a little stealth package like this, I don't think you're expecting much juice capacity out of it anyways, and it'll do well, it'll be efficient, especially if you're using the Q2 coils or the M2 coils, the more high ohm, high efficiency coils. You're going to be getting pretty decent juice capacity, or at least a pretty decent day's worth of vaping on the capacity in this tank. But regardless, let's take it back up into FaceTime and I will finish everything off. So to wrap this all up, I really am blown away by the size of this mod. For such a small mod, being able to still handle a 1600 mAh battery and 50 watt capacity, and being able to do sub-ohm if you're looking for that in this type of device, I mean, really, this is showcasing how efficient vape technology is becoming, or at least how we're picking up the right strategies to get a compact device that works well. I think that this is showcasing that for the entire industry, and I hope that more companies focus on doing something like this for beginner vapors, or just vapors that don't enjoy having such a large mod in their hands all the time. I mean, you take a look at the QBOX next to this Alien 220, and it's a little bit ridiculous actually to know that you're getting almost the same vapor from both of these devices. But that being said, there are tons of pros and cons for both of these devices, and so I think it's all subjective, but this QBOX is an awesome device. But thanks for tuning in, guys. Check in with us next Tuesday, and we'll be actually releasing, hopefully, a podcast on this Sunday, this upcoming Sunday. So keep an eye on social media for that, live on YouTube and also possibly on Facebook. So thank you guys for watching. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more. Thanks, guys.